Welcome to Project Art Online. My name is Miss Tyla, and I'm an artist. I love working with oil and acrylic paint and do a little watercolor here and there, but I love drawing animals and people and portraits and things like that. I teach in the Project Art classes in Queens, New York, and also Brooklyn, New York. And I just love what I do. I think it's a fantastic place to work. So today we're going to be talking about medieval knights. I think they're so exciting because everyone talks about knights and damsels in distress and princesses and all that. It's a really cool idea. So at the end, I hope that you'll learn to talk about drawing and line and structure and shape and pattern and to be able to make a knight and on his jousting horse into a tournament. So let's talk about what we'll need to get started. Okay, so we're going to need a piece of paper. Something like this, 12 by 18 is fine. If you have something a little smaller, 11 by 14, that's fine too. Nice piece of white paper. Construction paper is good. It's nice and heavy. You will need an eraser and a pencil, like this, eraser and a pencil. Okay, you will need a Sharpie, something like this, and then a black Sharpie, and then you will need watercolor paint. Okay, now so you'll have a palette like this one with a brush, and I also have watercolor pens because those are really cool and different. And you can use those as well. So watercolor pens, watercolor palettes, and you can also use markers. So I have Crayola markers, the big ones, the wide ones that are nice and bold. Those are good. You will also need school glue or stick glue. Either one is fine. School glue or stick glue, it's fine. A pair of scissors, of course. And optionally, if you have feathers, you can use a few feathers. We're going to decorate the helmet of the knight after this is all over. So let's try and do that. And also a silver metallic pen, something like this. This is a Sharpie metallic pen, so you can use that as well. So that works. Okay, so here's the inspiration for the medieval knights. Other than the princesses and watching a lot of Disney movies, there's a book that I read to my kids when they were young called An Undone Fairy Tale. It's such a cool book. It's so fun. This book was so silly and so funny. So this book is about maids and knights, and they're all trying to do what they do and, you know, damsels in distress and save each other. But what's happening is, as they're doing what they're doing, the guy down here is still actually creating the fairy tale. He's drawing. He's trying to catch up to them because we're reading too fast, and he's trying to actually put in the fairy tale. They couldn't find I think a horse or something. They ended up using a dog. So it's hysterical. It's just funny. It's a great book. And also, I was watching this old movie the other day called The Court Jester, and it was from 1956. And it was a great movie about knights and damsels in distress and taking over the kingdom from evil people. And funny movie, lots of singing and dancing and rhymes and riddles, hysterical. So between those two things, I thought we should do a lesson on knights. So that's why we're doing this. Okay, so when we talk about knights, if you didn't know, the knight was a person from a wealthy family who wanted to become a knight, of course, and they would start at the age of 7, as young as 7. They would come to the kingdom and they would work as a page. Then they would get to go as a squire. And then eventually, after they won tournaments and did all the training, they'd become a knight. So this was a really important thing and a really great honor to be a knight in the kingdom in like the 14th, 15th century. So I thought this would be a cool thing to do. What we're going to do first, and I have a couple of really quick little handouts to show you. We're going to draw the horse, and then we're going to draw the knight himself. So this is a little sketch of what we're going to do here, and then we're going to draw the knight and the horse here, and then we're going to decorate it, and then we're going to draw the background. So that's going to be all of the trees and the bushes and the brushes behind him, and also a shield and a lance that the knight is going to hold. We're going to cut those out and glue those on after. And then, if for a little extra, we can put a little feather in his helmet. And I thought for a nice cool background, we could actually put a castle. So we can either draw a castle, or I actually made one in advance. You can actually make a little castle like this, like draw it on a piece of paper and cut it out. And then you can have it to put on your background, in the background. So if you can't draw it on the thing, you want to draw it later, I had them, and I thought that would be kind of cool to draw little kind of castles. And so we're also going to be drawing shields. And I drew a couple just to look at, like this, and like this, and just some other ones, you know. So I'll show you a little bit later some of the diagrams we have for shield. So we're going to draw the horse and the rider, the horse and the knight. We're going to draw the background, which will be the mountains and the trees and the castle in the background. We're going to paint all of that, and then we're going to decorate the knight with a coat of arms on the blanket of the horse. So that's going to be a whole lot of extra steps. So we're going to get started right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here at the top. The top of my paper is right here. So I'm going to put like 3 fingers right at the top of my paper. Again, the top of my paper is right here. And I'm putting 3 fingers right here. And this is where I'm going to start my helmet. I'm going to get my Sharpie, and I have my hand here, and I'm just going to draw a line, just like that. Now that's going to be the start of our helmet. And then we're going to go down just a little bit, in, down again, and over. Down one more time. And then we're going to go this way and that way. That's it. That's our helmet. Now what we're going to do quickly is draw a little bit of his nose and an eyeball. And that's the whole thing for the knight. That's his head. Okay, so after that, we're going to, actually, let's fold our paper just a bit so we can get a center. I'm just going to fold a little bit. Yeah, so now this is going to be our center line. So this is going to be where our horse is going to be. So let's put the rest of the knight's body just from here down this way and down this way. Okay, we're going just to the crease we just made in the line, and that's going to be the body of the knight. The next thing we're going to do is make an arm. That's going to be an upside down U, and I'm not going to go too far up. I'm just going to go like that, not too close. It's his shoulder, and this is the bottom of his arm. And then we're going to come out just a little bit diagonal, and this line underneath, just a little bit diagonal. And for an edge for his elbow, we're just going to go up one line here, down one line there. Okay? Now we're going to create the horse, and that was it. That's the whole knight. You got them all in there. His helmet, his body. Okay? So now we're going to draw the horse. We're going to come forward just a little bit at our line, right to there. Same thing in the back, a little bit wider and longer in the back. That's going to be where his tail is, this way, right? So now we're going to come forward just a bit here and draw his head, a little circular right there. Going to come up right there, give it a little hook. That's going to be the head. And then we're going to come down and give him a nice thick body. Now, if that's not okay, you can always just give him a little bit of a nose if this is too thin, but that's all right, because we can actually cover this up when we paint it later if it's too weird right now, which it kind of is. It looks a little strange. So we're going to come down and we're going to draw this part. Okay, so now the horse is going to be covered in a blanket, so we don't have to worry about drawing all the intricate parts of the horse. We're not going to do all that. We're just going to draw the actual blanket that the knight is sitting on. So now let's draw a line that comes this way, And that's the bottom of the knight. And then we're going to draw his leg. Same thing as far as how he's going to be drawn. We're going to come this way. And we're going to round it out and come back that way. So it's another long U, right? We're going to come that way. Now we're going to take the top line and just go down. And go down with the bottom line and follow it. And then they're going to end in a little knot, just like that. Remember how we did the elbow here? We're going to go this way and that way. That's his knee. Done. Okay, now for his heel. We're going to come this way a little bit and go forward. And then just a little hump and we have a foot. That's his whole body and leg. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to draw the back of the horse. We're going to come right here and we're just going to go and curl it around. It's a really big tail. Curl it around. Really big tail. One more. Curl it around. One more inside of there. So he has a really big fluffy tail. It's going to be really, really curly. So we're going to color all of this in a little bit later. Okay, so now we're going to come down, finish out the blanket, and we're going to stop right here. I'm going to move my camera down just a bit so you can see. We're going to stop right there. I'm going to leave it right here. Leave a little bit of room at the end of our paper because we have to write his feet. So we're going to bring it over and we're going to just give a wiggly line, right? And then we're going to do another wiggly line right above it. So it looks like a blanket. And then we're just going to give 4 little feet. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 2 back here, and 2 back there. That's it. So now we have the horse and we have his body. Now, my horse looks a little strange, I have to admit. You know, just because you're an artist doesn't mean you can always draw. So I'm going to have to fix his head a little bit. I'm going to come over here and draw another little circle and come back down and give him an eye. Again, all this can be fixed by painting over it, so don't stress too much if your horse looks a little bit like mine, looks a little crazy. It's fine. And then we can give him a little bit of a beak. And here's something else you can do. If you find that you've screwed up like I just did and you don't like it, you can always cut it out and put it on another piece of paper and then cut out all the imperfections. That's one way to do it. So let's see, we have a little nose here like this, and we have his bridle. So this can actually be his bridle that goes this way. So you can always make something out of an imperfection, right? So you can always do that. Okay, so now we have our horse, we have our rider, we have his tail, we have the blanket, and we have his feet. Now what we can do is we can cut up the blanket into 2 or 4 sections, depending on how you like it. So what we're going to do in the blanket is we're going to create like a coat of arms. I think I'm going to do 2. I'm going to go across this way. I'm going to stop at his leg, and then I'm going to go on the other side of his leg and keep going. So I have a section here and a section here. Now I think what I want to do, I told you before I made a couple of shields. So I'm going to go and look at one of my shields, and I think what I'm going to do is make the sign of the shield on the body of the blanket. And I'm going to do this little, I don't know what I did, it was like a fleur-de-lis or something. Just a couple of swirls like that. That's pretty cool. And then there was another one that I did that was just, let's see, a loopy line like a long W, It goes down into a point. It has a line in the middle, and then it has a couple of stripes on the side. And then it has a little cross on the center. So something like that is fine too. You can do more, you can do less, you can add more flowers, you can add more designs here and there. It's up to you, whatever you'd like to do, completely on your own. You can figure out whatever you'd like to do and make this as detailed or as simple as you'd like. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what I have as far as the background of my rider. Now my horse and rider are here. Now I want to create landscape in the back. Remember I told you I had my castle? So I can either put that one here like this, or if it's too big, I can put it over here, and then I can draw around it, or I can simply leave it out and I can draw the background. So what I'm going to do is, my line is here. Here's my horizon line. Remember that? It's right there, the crease in my paper. I don't want to have it right at the tail of the rider. I want to have it a bit higher. So I'm just going to start here and make a few wavy lines like that. And a few here, this way, up and over on my paper. Again, my paper's ending here and here. That's the end of my paper. So this is going to be my background. Now I have some branches I'm going to put in here. I'm going to make some squiggly lines like this. And this is going to be some far off trees, right? And then I think I want to put, let's see. I think I want to put, I'm going to put some sky back here. I think I want to put a few more mountains and ridges, right? And that's all going to be in the background behind my knight this way. Okay, so this is all going to come together when we start to paint it. So for right now, we're just giving ourselves an outline and a background. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we're going to start painting. Now we can close up our Sharpie and put that away, and we can start looking at our color. Okay, so we've got his shield and we've got his lance. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue the back. You can either use your school glue or your stick glue. You can see what I'm doing. Just a bit of glue in the back, and I'm putting down the lance right there. Yep. I have a little bit of glue there. That'll dry. It's fine. Okay. And then the shield right on top. Here's my shield. Glue on the back. Oops. That kind of spilled over. That's fine. Glue is fine. Glue is good. Okay. And I'm going to put it right there. So now I've got my shield. I've got my lance. I've done my background. And remember, if you had space, you could have drawn a castle. All right, so now like I said, I'm going to cover up some of these areas with paint, or at least a marker. Let's get a green marker. And put in some more shrubbery that will kind of cover the spots I missed before because I put in this castle after. Again, you know, everything can be fixed, can be worked on, can be changed, can be adjusted. Nothing is ever like, oh, it's, you know, I made a mistake or I screwed up or something. You can edit anything. Anything can be adjusted or changed. So never think, oh my goodness, I messed something up. What did Bob Ross say? This guy who used to paint when I was a kid. Bob Ross, he said there were never any mistakes, only happy accidents. I love that. That's so true. So I'm going to come in here with my watercolor and just finish up this background here, because remember, this is my background next to my knight. All right, so I hope you had a great time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I thank you all for joining me today. And if you would post any images of this project, please tag at ProjectArt USA and Instagram or Facebook, and make sure to use the hashtag ProjectArtOnline. And I'd love to see what you guys made. I had a great time with you today, and I hope you guys can come back and visit ProjectArt again and do more art with us. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.